Man, Packet Free University sucks. Remember a time where every store you went into, half of their inventory was music games and instruments? Seriously, there was a time where everyone at bars, schools, basements, and strip clubs were either playing Guitar Hero or Rock Band. The popularity over music games were so high for a time that it was the only thing anyone was playing, and then they disappeared off the face of the planet. It has been almost 5 years since either franchise has seen a return to the gaming industry, and now that's all about to change with the upcoming release of Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4, both coming out this October. When both games come out, I will be doing unboxings, playthroughs, and reviews of both games simply because music games changed my life, and I just love talking about them. But what can I do in the meantime? Well, to get pumped, in this video, I'm here to show you how both Guitar Hero and Rock Band has evolved over the years, as well as how they both crumbled away. Yes, really, this video is an excuse for me to play the games again, but I know there are quite a few people out there that completely miss the music game scene, simply because of lack of interest, money, or age. So now I'm here to show you what you missed, and what you can look forward to in the coming months. So, how did Guitar Hero start in the first place? Well, Konami had an arcade game called Guitar Freaks, which was a game in which you held a plastic guitar with buttons on it and played the notes in time with the music. Hardware developer Red Octane loved the idea of a rock and roll music game with a guitar peripheral, and they were confident enough to make their own guitar. But there's only one problem. They don't know how to make games. So they made a partnership with game developer Harmonix to make a game that utilizes a plastic guitar as the controller. Red Octane partnered up with Harmonix because of their previous music game's frequency and its much more successful successor, Amplitude. These are music games with a much more techno soundtrack where you guide a cursor to hit the notes to the beat of the music. Unfortunately, neither of these games gained mainstream attention, which is disappointing considering how freaking awesome Amplitude was. Luckily, it's just got a very successful Kickstarter and is currently being developed by Harmonix. In late 2005, near the end of the PlayStation 2's lifecycle, Guitar Hero was released. Guitar Hero was a PS2 exclusive and came with the game as well as the plastic guitar and stickers for $70, which isn't a bad price. Now this is the Guitar Hero 2 guitar, but literally the only differences between the two are the end of the cable and the color. Guitar Hero 2's guitar was red, while the original Guitar Hero guitar was black. So let's get through the guitar. Yes, I know, most of you know the Guitar Hero guitar inside and out, but to my surprise, there are quite a few people out there that don't have any idea how it works. The guitar resembled a Gibson SG and is around 3/4 of the actual size. The neck is made up of 5 colored buttons, the now iconic green, red, yellow, blue, and orange. These buttons make up the frets of the guitar. Hold the corresponding note that comes down the note highway, and when the note is aligned with the bar at the bottom, you strum with the guitar's strum bar. You can also hammer on and pull off notes that glow white. That means if you strum the note before it, all you have to do is tap the buttons. The guitar also has a whammy bar which lets you mess with the pitching of long notes, a pause button, a button that unleashes star power, and if you're 10 like I was, some stupid ass stickers. Overall, it's a nice guitar that really makes you feel like a rock star. Alright, I put the first Guitar Hero in, so let's see if my skills still hold up today. Okay, I'll do a different song. My god, I probably suck at this thing now.
No, you don't, George. You just need some practice.
I freaking suck at this. My god, this thing sucks. This fucking game. I didn't realize till later that it wasn't my skill that made me fail. It was the fact that the first Guitar Hero did not have a calibration option that lets you sync video to audio depending on your TV. So if you have an HD TV, that basically means you can't play the game. So, in the end, I just wasted a guitar. Guitar Hero 2 at the time was a PS2 exclusive that was released in 2006, a time when some people already had their hands on the Wii, PS3, or Xbox 360. But that didn't stop Guitar Hero 2 from being a critical and commercial success. Guitar Hero has 4 different difficulty modes that use different frets. Easy uses the first 3, medium uses 4, and hard and expert use all 5 frets. Once you make it to expert difficulty, the songs you play are mapped as if it's the actual song. If you'll just pretend that a guitar only had 1 string of 5 frets, playing the song to expert will be the exact way to play the song. Because of this, once I made it to expert, which took me about a year of consistent playing, I became insanely interested in playing music. Guitar Hero was the reason I listened to rocking bands and playing music. Besides the feeling of playing a guitar rocking out, the other reason for people of younger generations falling in love with awesome music was because of the game's awesome music. From Cheap Trick to Black Sabbath, Megadeth, Motley Crue, Pantera, Rage, and Van Halen, Guitar Hero had an awesome soundtrack, and number 2 had an even better one. However, the majority of the songs aren't the actual songs. They're covers by in-house band at Harmonix, and I actually quite prefer the covers. It makes me feel like I'm actually playing my version of the song instead of playing to an MP3 track. I love the ending to Surrender much more than the original version, and the solo Heart-Shaped Box by Nirvana is way better than the actual song. Yes, I said it was better than Nirvana's studio recording. Although I will say the vocals are hit and miss, especially with Avenged Sevenfold's Beast and the Harlot. One of my personal favorite songs, and they turned it into some punk pop song. Whatever, I'm over it. But there are a couple songs that are the actual studio recorded version, like John the Fisherman. Despite having more songs than its predecessor, another big difference in the single player mode in Guitar Hero 2 is Encores. When you complete the 4 songs required to continue, you get an Encore song. It's usually a pretty awesome song that changes the setting a little bit to be more awesome. There's also competitive mode in which you can verse your friends through either face-off or pro face-off, but something kinda happened to the other controller. One of the biggest additions is practice mode, in which you pick a song you suck at, pick the part you want to practice, slow down the song, and practice away. It was a very needed change for players to get better at the game. Guitar Hero 2 was so good, in fact, it even made it to the Xbox 360 later on, with more songs and an even cooler, better feeling guitar, inspired by the Gibson Explorer. Harmonix's last Guitar Hero game was Rock the 80s, a PS2 exclusive that's only difference was different skins and an 80s soundtrack. While the soundtrack was pretty good, fans hated the fact that they were charged $50 for the same game with less songs, especially considering that DLC was just being introduced to gaming. And then, wait, Harmonix's last Guitar Hero game? What the hell happened? Well, the hip kid MTV purchased Harmonix, while the successful kid Activision bought Red Octane along with the Guitar Hero name. So Activision let Neversoft develop the new Guitar Hero game with a larger budget because Activision, duh. In 2007, we received Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock, which is still the best-selling game in the series, and at the time, it was the fastest-selling game to make $1 billion in sales. Guitar Hero 3 was available for PS2, Wii, Xbox 360, PS3, and yes, even the PC. Guitar Hero 3 is what most people play and is the game that changed my life. I put over 200 hours into Guitar Hero 3, which is enough time to go into Guitar Hero competitions. I still have a shirt from a competition when I was 12, as well as a sign that I had made for me. Don't laugh at me, I was happy. It also changed my life and made me want to learn more about music. In fact, Guitar Hero 3 got a lot of people to awesome music that they wouldn't have heard anywhere else unless they snuck into their parents' album collection. So let's talk about the actual game. Guitar Hero 3's PS3 controller is much better than the last one. The guitar's design is inspired by the Gibson Les Paul. The frets are much more comfortable and have colored outlines instead of whole-colored frets. The whammy bar is more sturdy, and the star power button sticks out ever so slightly, making it easier to activate star power if you don't want to tilt the guitar. But the biggest addition, it's wireless! Woo! The game's art style is fairly different from the first 2 Guitar Heroes. The game is a lot less fluid as character animations are very choppy. The crowds look like shit too. But the characters' star power moves and just their moves in general weren't nearly as cool as the ones in the previous game. However, it was pretty cool to see what the new characters look like with the new style in HD. But what's the best new addition in Guitar Hero 3? The awesome songs. In my opinion, Guitar Hero 3 has the best setlist in any Guitar Hero game. While there are still some cool covers, a lot of the songs are the actual studio recorded versions. We now have bands like Foghat, Slipknot, Living Colour, and we finally have Metallica. The game is also much harder and easier at the same time. The windows in which you have to hit the notes are a tad larger, meaning you have more room for error when it comes to hits that are just a millisecond off. But these songs are really hard. Adding more triple button combos and intense solos, this is one hard Guitar Hero, especially with Through the Fire and Flames. Another new addition is guitar battles. You can battle against Rage's Tom Morello and the legendary Slash. You both play a badass song and hit each other with obstacles that screws the other player up when you nail certain sections perfectly. Now you can also do this with players locally and finally online, but we have a Rock Band guitarist so it doesn't work. Wait, Rock Band? What the hell's Rock Band? Well, Harmonix isn't up to anything, so they said screw it, let's make a new music game. And around the same time Guitar Hero 3 came out, they made Rock Band. Rock Band is a huge step forward from Guitar Hero. Instead of playing guitar, you can now play guitar, drums, you could sing, and you can play bass with a 4-player band. But you can't use a Guitar Hero guitar because it's not compatible. The guitar does feel cheap, but it's good in its own way. It resembles a Fender Stratocaster in almost every way. Frets are built into the neck, making them huge clicking rectangles. There are also solo frets found at the bottom of the neck. When you do guitar solos, you could just use the buttons on the bottom of the neck, which lets you play the notes without strumming. The strum bar is silent, which is good for some people while others don't prefer it, and the whammy bar is larger. There's also a switch which lets you change the sound of your guitar when using overdrive. It is a different game after all. The drums are completely different. It's got 4 drum pads, red, yellow, blue, and green, that all resemble toms that can take a beating. The kit also has a kick pedal resembling orange. However, Rock Band 1 kick pedals are shit and break easily. So we have 2. One that's been fixed with wood and duct tape, and one that's been assembled through an actual kick pedal. What's great about the drums is that they resemble the actual drum kit if you play the game on Expert. Seriously, I learned and mastered drums in real life because of Rock Band. How you play the song on Expert is exactly how you would play the song in real life. It's a lot of fun and it can be a real workout sometimes. Thank you Harmonix for teaching me a real instrument. And finally we have vocals, which there isn't much to talk about. It's a wired, shitty microphone, that's about it. When you play as a band together, it turns into one of the best cooperative experiences to be found in video games, period. In some ways, you feel like you're actually playing in a band. And when you all nail certain sections together, it just feels amazing. It does suck though that the setlist isn't that great. Literally half the songs are easy songs on every instrument that aren't fun to play together. But later songs like Tom Sawyer Enter Sandman are fantastic and satisfying. Luckily, Rock Band also supports DLC that works with every main game in the franchise, including the upcoming Rock Band 4. So any song you buy in the store for this game works with Rock Band 4 in the future. There are literally thousands of songs too, and at great prices between $1 and $2. The aesthetics of the game are also pretty good. Our band is still Death Piñata, but now you can create your own characters. Pick your face, hair, instruments, clothing, everything. It makes the game feel much more personal than Guitar Hero ever has. The game just looks better. Characters have realistic movements on stage and even interact together. Venues are cool too, and the lights change with the music, which can make some very epic moments feel even more epicer. And one of the best feelings you could get is when you play the game flawlessly. If you had a good streak for a long time, the crowd actually sings with you. And yes, you could play by yourself, but that means you can't experience the really cool World Tour mode, which actually makes you feel like your band is growing. In the end, Rock Band was as revolutionary for the gaming industry as Guitar Hero was, except a little more expensive. At launch, the game, guitar, drums, and microphone retailed at $170, which isn't too bad after considering the Rock Band 4 bundle is going to be $250. So if you have all your old instruments, save them, because you can actually use them in Rock Band 4. Anyways, at this point in time, music games were at the top of the earth. They were what everyone was playing at the time, and it made great music popular again, as well as inspiring many people like myself to become musicians as well. So besides the upcoming Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4, why haven't we seen much of music games besides Just Dance the past 5 years? Find out when I post my second and last video on the history of Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Here's some questions I want answered in the comments below. Did you guys like the video? Do you have any questions? And are you guys looking forward to the new music games coming out this October? Again, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay fresh.